I've worked customer service. I've been a manager before. So I worked as a waiter once upon a time. So I can have both point of views on this subject today. So basically what it's going to be about is where is customer service, where is it started and where is it at today, as you guys see it, as far as do you feel like it's getting worse? Do you feel like it's about the same? Just where do you guys feel that it's at as far as customer service? Now, I'm gonna tell you where I personally feel that customer service is at. To me, I feel like customer service has fallen off tremendously over the last 10 years, maybe over the last 5 years, just slowly getting worse in the aspect, meaning how customer service is being given to us as consumers. Now, I understand a lot's going on nowadays. People are stressed out, just life in general, just a lot just goes on. Now, I don't deem that's okay for you to just come in there and be disrespectful or overreact when you're a consumer. Because the old saying goes, like I said, I used to be a manager, the customer is always right. Now, yes, they are, but what is the cutoff on that? Where do you guys feel like that's where it's like, okay, even though as a customer, you are not right because what you're doing is taking advantage of that by saying I'm a customer, so I'm right, knowing even though you're not, but you're going to use that and try to run with it. And that's where a lot of our customers, the retailers get offended because the customers are doing it on purpose. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples. This is something that just happened to me 2 weeks ago. Not me, but in the store. 2 weeks ago, I was in a Family Dollar store. In line, was about on a Sunday, 6 o'clock or whatever. And I'm in line. The lady's taking my, my items and ringing it up. So a guy comes in. One, he was rude because when he walks in, he didn't even say excuse me to me or to the young lady that was, taking, my order or, ringing it up. He just clearly goes, ma'am, hey. So do y'all have any more tank tops back there? Because I can't find any. So first the lady kind of didn't ignore him. I guess she didn't hear him. I don't know why, but she just kept talking to me. And then the driver, she had a shipment come in. So she had a lot going on. She was trying to tend to me. The guy comes up and talks to her about the shipment. So she had to sign a paperwork. And then that's when the guy comes in and is shouting at her, excuse me. Well, he did say excuse me, but the way he did it was like, excuse me, but it's like, y'all got to wait for me because I need to talk to her. So I felt, again, that was disrespectful the way he did the excuse me. He wasn't sincere about it. So he asked the lady, the cashier, do you have any more tank tops? And she's like, whatever we have over there is what we have left. He said, that's what I'm trying to tell you, ma'am. There's no more back there. She said, then we don't have any more. He said, man, well, y'all need to get y'all order right. You need to start ordering the right way because every time I come in here, y'all don't never had nothing. So the girl goes, well, you could go down the street to Walmart and get a t-shirt from them. And he was walking out. He said, excuse me, what'd you say, man? Oh, you want to be smart? I wasn't even trying to be rude. You ain't got to be disrespectful like that. I was just letting you know clearly that you was out of t-shirts and you need to make an order. She said, well, I understand, but you need to understand that we can't make orders just because one person comes in and say we don't have enough. Whatever we have in stock, that's what we have in stock. So the guy was really getting pissed off at this point. He said, well, you are very disrespectful and that's not good customer service. So at this point, he was walking towards the cash register. So it was a guy in the back. So I don't know if that was his sister, cousin, whatever. But he shouts to the guy, yo, excuse me, fam, that's my family right there. What are you trying to do? You're disrespecting her. You need to just go. So them two get into it. So finally, the guy walks off and leaves. So she's like, I apologize for that. That dude should have known better. He was disrespectful. So I apologize. I said, no worries. Some people just, you can't satisfy them. So that was one scenario. So I'm not going to dominate the whole time. I'm going to let you come back with it, Matt. But this is one scenario where I feel like both was wrong. Okay, now, like I said, I used to be a manager. We had people come in disrespectful, cussing at you, saying everything you're doing wrong, and I'm the customer. You're supposed to service me. Now, this is where it's hard as the retailer. You have to withhold yourself of your anger If you say the wrong thing, it's gonna come off the wrong way. So did she have a right because the dude was disrespecting her? Yeah, but she didn't have to make the comment about go to Walmart because that is the only way you're gonna take that. You trying to be a smart ass. So I can see why the dude got mad, but she could have easily said, okay, sir, I take that in account. I'll make sure that we have the order in. The next time you come in, we have your shirt. Now that's the way it's supposed to be handled. As a manager, that's what I tell my employees. You have a disgruntled customer, don't go back and forth with them because now you're arguing and you're taking yourself out of being a professional in a business setting. Even though you know what he's doing is wrong and you want to say that, there's certain things you can't say because that's what a customer, you got to give them that respect. So I felt like she could have said that respectfully, but it's really no way. Again, you're going to take that, but trying to be a smart ass. But I would have said personally, well, I'll make sure I have these shirts next time you in here because I'll make sure I put a special order on that and then let it go. So I'm going to kick it to you, Matt. I'm going to hear your opinion. And I got 5, 6 more different scenarios, but on different places. In a restaurant, that was Family Dollar, so that's retail, even in a workplace. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and say what you guys say on that.
All right. I think this topic is really, really interesting. We could be here all day talking about it.
Right.
I don't know. I think like customer service, in a sense, it could be relative because I like how you perceive it could be different from how I receive it in the next person. I know you as a manager and you worked retail too, I believe, at some point. I think the only customer service I really had was when I was working not even Sonic because I was a cook.
Right.
But I would say at Hand and Stones, I was more customer service because I was dealing with customers. But and basically what I'm getting to is there's really no format of what customer service is. Like to me, customer service is treating people with respect and whatever problems that come up, you try to solve the problem. If you can't solve it, then you try to neutralize it the best way you know how. And I sometimes think that can come in the moment because I think if you try to have like a script, it will come off as disingenuous and robotic, and I would take offense to it. Like, for example, I hate calling into like a business on the phone, and I know what they're doing. They're in their minds, they're putting out good customer service, but for me, it irritates the hell out of me because it sounds and feels so fake. It's like they're literally looking off a script and say, "Okay, how you doing today? Oh, I could help you with that. And what is your problem?" And it's like, okay, just cut to the chase. Just get to what it is that I need. So in a sense, that's could be considered good customer service for some people and for the ones that's actually providing it because they're being nice, they're asking what the issue is, but at the same time, it's like, okay, to me, it's taking up too much time and it irritates me. Just ask me what I need, I tell you what I need, and so forth. And then sometimes they don't even let you speak. It's getting to the point now, from my experiences, I'll call in for something and they, like I said, it's like a script that they have and they're going through the script and it's like sometimes not even close to what it is that I need. And then when I interject, they get irritated and pissed off. That's not what I'm saying, sir. So for me, customer service is relative, like I was saying before. And to me, it's just ultimately just giving respect to the consumer. Now, as far as what you was talking about, that situation, I think that can go both ways. I don't think dude was like intentionally trying to be rude and thinking he was better than everybody else, and he just kind of interrupt. Customer service could be they didn't have anybody in place walking around where he can ask, okay, ma'am, sir, you're out of stock of tank tops. Do you have any in stock? So because they don't have anybody in place, and yeah, he should have waited, but like just seriously think about it. If it's 10 people in line, are you gonna sit there and wait for 10 people to go through the register just to ask about a shirt? So I'm pretty sure he was frustrated because there was nobody else around that he could
Mhm.
actually get service from. So he did say, excuse me, he should have asked the customers, like, y'all mind, I have a question to ask because, they're out of stock. Let me see to find out if it's any in stock. Well, most people do that, probably not. But with her, she probably thought it was rude and disrespectful because he interrupted and just kind of jumped in the line. So for her, she didn't, in my opinion, perform good customer service because she could have easily said, sir, just hold up for 1 minute. I want to take care of these customers first, or whatever the case is.
Mhm.
And as far as the comment about, well, you can go to Walmart, I don't think that was disrespectful. I think she was being sincere. Like, okay, there's no more shirts. We don't have any more, but you're likely, not likely, but you're welcome to go to Walmart down the street, and I'm pretty sure they might have some in stock. Now, the way she probably said it probably came off as rude,
Yeah.
but she was probably offended because one, he just jumped the line and like, excuse me, and asking about the shirts, and then he went to whatever he went into.
Right.
So I think on both sides it was a form of disrespect towards each other, but because it is a place of business and their whole thing is to provide service for the customer, I think the whole place in itself, the Dollar General was in the wrong.
Right.
Because they should have had something in stock. If they didn't know it was in stock, somebody should have checked or something, or put something up said out of stock. So I think it starts, at the top and it works its way down. But like I said, have you been anywhere where they actually taught people what customer service is? Because you would think most people knows customer service is taking care of the customer, being respectful, and like you said before, the customer, they used to always say, is always right. But that's how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. That's why I wanted to hear your point of view. And again, guys, if you are retail or you work as giving customer service, I want feedback on this because I'm saying the same thing. The lady was disrespectful again because she said the Walmart. And I know you said it wasn't, but it was the intent, the way she said it, because she said it with an attitude. So that's what I'm saying. Being on that other side, I know a lot of customers come in there. That's why I say I kind of get both sides. When you deal with the hardest job, one of the hardest, I ain't gonna say the hardest, one of the hardest jobs to do, and any of you guys out there back me up, you in this position of your work, is customer service because you deal with everybody's attitude. You deal with people that come in happy, you come in people mad, people venting because they just broke up. I mean, you just get it all. So you gotta really challenge yourself not to get outside of yourself and take yourself out of where you're working at and come back at it. That's why I say for them, that's why I was saying that I think she was kind of like she was somewhere in this as a regular person saying, but go to Walmart, because that's a comment I would have said too. But I know again, it's a certain thing you just can't say because you're being a smart ass, even though you may not say it rudely, is just the intent behind it is basically saying, well, we don't have nothing, so go to Walmart. Again, I would have said, let me take care of that. I make sure we got shirts next time. And that way it won't be no smart comment. I mean, it may sound like you're catering to them, but it's a way to diffuse the problem because the dude got mad and wanted to come back. And that's what I'm saying. Nowadays, you have people coming in with attitudes from a long day at work. You say the wrong thing, and people don't care anymore. They jump counters now coming after employees. That's what I'm saying about customer service is where we at now, where they come back at you and forgetting that you at work. And these people, the customers don't care. They coming for you because they feel like you're not going to disrespect me. I'm the customer. Regardless if I'm in the wrong, I'm still in the right. So that's where I feel like you got to take yourself out of that position to realize that, yeah, I can't just say anything because I can, because I want to, even if they disrespect you. Because like I said, I had people talk rude to me, cuss me out, and I wanted to say what I had to say, but I'm like, you know what? I did it in a discreet way, but they still knew where I was coming from. You're not just going to disrespect me just because I'm the employee and I'm an employer and you the customer. So another scenario. Now this was me. Okay, I was at the gas station and I went outside and the girl put the gas on the wrong pump. So And I was just like the guy in Dollar General. I said, excuse me. I told everybody in line, excuse me, can you give me a second? I just need to let her know that she put the gas in the wrong pump. Well, why didn't you tell me that then? You told me the wrong number. And I'm like, man, can you just put it on 12? I'm just letting you know. Well, you need to make sure you tell me the right information when you come here paying gas. This is the lady working there. So I was like, you know, you don't need to be rude. I was just telling you, can you switch the gas pump? You know, so at that point I left because everybody's getting pissed off for waiting. But that's the point I'm making again. That's why I wanted to bring this topic up. Is it okay to just, because you're having a bad day and you stressed out with all the customers, you just gonna snap at somebody and think it's okay? I blew it off. I mean, it could have went another way easily, even though it was my mistake, but it was the way she came across. Like she act like it was the end of the world because I came into action. All you gotta do is click a button, but she would have to give me her piece on how she felt about it. So that's where I feel like people working in customer service is taking it to where they could just go and say whatever they want and it's okay. Not again, being in that other side, I don't believe that you could just say whatever you want because you can. Because again, you gotta understand, you don't like where you're working at. And my boss used to tell me this, you should be working here. If you don't like dealing with customers and disrespect, then, and I ain't saying that it's easy to just go get another job, but you know what comes with that. And that's the other catch-22. When you're working in customer service, you're gonna get both ends. You're gonna get some people that's the best customer, that's friendly, you can't wait to see them. You're gonna get the ones that you be ready to jump on the counter and go at it with them because they just so disrespectful. But you know that going in, so you gotta be able to put aside your personal feelings and just go off on somebody. That was one. I'm gonna give you another one. It was 3 weeks ago. I was in Walmart. Now, Walmart, comedians always clown Walmart. So I guess people are gonna be like, well, you should already know that dealing with who they are because they don't have a lot of customer service anyway. Now, I was in there, I was in entertainment, and they had a bunch of TVs that was on the stand. So I said, excuse me, are you in this department? Because I wanted to make sure it was the person in the right department. Yes, I work here. I mean, I'm in entertainment. I said, well, how much are these TVs and how long are they going to be on sale? I don't know. They just put them right here on display. When they all going, they're going to be going. I said, do you know if this sale going to carry over into August? Again, I don't know. You're going to have to call. You can go on the website and look it up and find out, but I just don't know. I'm like, okay, so you ain't helping me at all. Thanks, but no thanks. You know, so my point is on that's what I'm saying about customer service again. It's just the way some people are coming across is like they getting attitudes with you and giving you, acting like you're wrong for asking the questions. Well, that's your job. That's your title, is to give customer service. So for one, I was pissed off that he didn't have no knowledge to anything. I don't know. First of all, I was always told when I was in any kind of retail, you never tell a customer, I don't know. You can say, well, let me find out for you. Well, I can get someone that can help you, but you don't say, I don't know. That's just dismissing the person and just basically tell them, figure it out. Like he said, well, you can go online because I don't know when the sales are, when they end. And I'm just like, well, you don't know too much. Why are you in this department? If you don't have any knowledge of what's going on, you literally can't help nobody. So that's just a couple of examples that I feel like where I say customer service is coming where it was, where it is now. I just think a lot of people just don't have the respect to show the customers that, you know, let me help you. Because I haven't flipped the script, and there's some people that's very helpful. They come and, hey, you need help. Let me show you what you're looking for. What is it? Let me find the item. And they go far and beyond. To me, that's what customer service, like you said perfectly, is where they assist you, help you out in something. Whatever it is you need, they're going to accommodate you. That's what true customer service is. So I ain't going to sit here and bash and say everybody that's in customer service is bad. So I'm always going to try to keep it, you know, even. But I'm just, you know, for the most part, there's a lot of them nowadays where, like I said, they either don't have the knowledge or they getting attitudes when you ask one too many questions that they can't answer. So they feel like they just dismiss you, like the guy at Walmart where he just kept saying, I don't know. And I was just like, wow, this guy really that's not trying to help. He didn't say, let me get somebody to help you. I don't know, go online and look and see. They should have it on there. So that's just another one too. But again, I'm gonna let you say anything. If you have any experiences, then I'm gonna give you a couple more, and then I'm gonna give you a little reasoning behind all of this topic, why I brought it up today.
I don't know. I think it still comes back down to, for me, like, what is customer service?
Mhm.
So for me, like I said, I see both sides of it. You know, me being I was doing dashing and stuff like that. I think location has a lot to do with it, because
Mhm.
where I'm at, you've been here.
Yeah.
In this area, it's like, I hate using that term ghetto, but it really is. And the
Mhm.
customer service is the worst. Like at McDonald's, all the fast food places,
Mhm.
they're terrible. And it's like you said, they have attitude. I mean, people literally will walk in the door. I don't know if they have it in San Antonio, but they have the kiosks now at McDonald's where you go up and you put
Yeah.
your order.
Right.
So to
Mhm.
me, that kind of screwed things up, because one is supposed to make it easier for the workers, the
Right.
employees, but then they just totally ignore people. Like, they literally will walk past the cash register, look you dead in your eyes, and not say anything. And some would just
Mhm.
totally ignore you, like you're not even in
Right.
the building, because
Right.
they
Yeah.
expect you to go through the kiosk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a sense, technology is making customer service bad, because in certain places people rely on that technology more so than
Mhm.
human interaction. And
Yeah.
it's just subconsciously it's going to affect people to the point to
Right.
where it's, okay, we got backup, we got computers, why don't they use that?
Yeah.
You can order online now, so all you got to do is
Mhm.
come pick it up. So I think sometimes that kind of affects them indirectly, to whereas in their mind they're thinking, well, if you can go online and make an order, you can go to the kiosk, why are you bugging us? And then now a lot of
Mhm.
places have less employees, so they're
Right.
understaffed. So that right there puts the employees under stress, because now they're doing more with less.
Mhm.
So I'm not making excuses, but I'm just looking at it
Right.
from their
Yeah.
perspective as well. But
Yeah.
that again comes back to, what is customer service? Because I've never been anywhere where
Mhm.
customer service is being taught. So most employers is
Mhm.
going to assume that the people that they're hiring
Yeah.
have what is it, interpersonal skills.
Right.
So if you have somebody that don't have any personal skills, then they're not going to be good at customer service. And most
Mhm.
of these jobs, like fast food, they're not going to invest in teaching the employees
Right.
interpersonal skills. That's stuff that they
Mhm.
pick up at home with their parents, and
Right.
then it's developed through school
Yeah.
and through personal experience.
Mhm.
So, like, for me, this may sound bad. I personally like the computers better. Like, when I go to the grocery store, I don't shop at
Right.
Walmart, but any grocery store that has the kiosk, I prefer
Mhm.
that. I don't even go over to the
Right.
register, because then I don't have to deal with that.
Uh-huh.
Um, so, and again, I just think that's part of the problem. Like right now, currently, is all this stuff that's going on. People are stressed
Mhm.
out, and again, that's not an excuse to be disrespectful and rude,
Right.
but I just believe that has a lot to do with the employers, because the employers should make sure when these people are coming through the door that they
Right.
have interpersonal skills. And if that
Mhm.
person is not good with people, especially at fast food, you go into the back. I'm sorry, you're
Yes.
working the kitchen. I don't care if you want to work the front, you're not going to
Mhm.
work the front, because you just don't have
Yeah.
the skills. So I think it's more of an employer problem,
Mhm.
because they are the ones that's putting these people in place.
Right.
Um, but I just don't see it getting any better. I hate to sound negative or pessimistic, but
Mhm.
um, the more, like I said, we get into technology, the more it takes away from interpersonal
Right.
skills. Like, think about it. You go online for
Mhm.
freaking dating sites now. You go
Right.
online to do uh chats and stuff, people interacting like we're doing. I mean,
Mhm.
of course
Yeah.
down there, so that's the reason why. But it's less
Mhm.
interpersonal,
Right.
interaction is going on. So that takes away from that human nature aspect.
Mhm.
That's what I believe.
Yeah, well, that is part of it. That is sad that we are letting technology take over to where nobody has any communication skills no more. And that's to me, I hear everything you're saying. I actually do agree with it, but I guess that's where I'm different is because I'm doing both. Even as a trainer, that's personal, that's customer service because I got to
Oh yeah.
provide service to the client. So I feel like my whole thing is this, and this is going to sound like I'm trying to sound like it's a perfect world, but again, this is just common sense to me. If you do something and it comes to you, you don't want that to happen to you. So to me, these same people that working in the store or grocery store, or whatever, and you don't want to help them, it's going to be a common time where you're going to be in that same situation where you're going to become a consumer and you're going to need help and then you're going to feel the same way. So to me, it's like it shouldn't be taught, it should be common sense because everywhere we go, we're all consumers. No, seriously. It's like, would you want to go somewhere and have somebody just ignore you or just don't respond to you? You're going to be pissed off. So why would you get that same service if you don't want it? So that's to me where it's like, regardless if we doing the internet and all that, we still got to interact. And it's something that you don't want done to you. So why would you do it to somebody else? Now, I'm going to say part of it, and I usually don't like blaming it on the generation, but there's a lot of young kids working a lot of these jobs nowadays. And I work with a
Yeah.
lot of young ones. I'm not saying all of them, but a vast majority of them have that I don't care attitude. I don't need to work here. My mom will help me out if I quit, or I don't need this job that serious. I go get another one. So they don't even tend to take the job serious. So they're going to respond in a negative way towards a customer and act like they disrespecting them because whatever they're doing. So I think that's part of it. It's like you said too, demographic has a lot, certain areas of town. Again, the employees that there are younger. And again, they don't really have the care for the job because it's not a career for them. So they take it as it's just a job, I can get another one. So they're going to react to the customers the way they do. But I'm talking about even the older ones, like our age, shouldn't have no reason in the world. Maybe they just tired and fed up with all this was going on. So they just respond because the guy that went to Walmart was around my age. So I'm looking at him like, either you mad because you got to work here or you just don't care because just the attitude is what got me on the way he was dismissive. And that's where I'm at with customer service is the way, and I know what you said, I understand what everything you just said about the interacting, more people online. So you come in, you're not used to as much as you should be. But to me, it shouldn't be like that because again, you still got to think about one day you're going to be on the flip side. Because I was like that. I ain't going to lie. I was one day rude to a customer. And I'm just like, why are they getting on my nerves? They just asking too many questions. And then I wound up going somewhere and I was that same customer getting annoyed because the person wasn't helping me and taking too long or act like they ain't want to help me. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be always that situation where you got to think about, well, damn, I'm a customer all the time too when I go somewhere. So why should I be rude to one of the customers just because I feel like they asking too many questions or you should know this already or go ask somebody else, I'm busy. That to me is just no excuse for that. Regardless with technology, I'm serious. It's just like it shouldn't be that hard to answer a question. Again, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but when I was in that situation, if I didn't have an answer, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help you, but somebody else can. Let me go ask so and so. They have better knowledge. They could be able to tell you better than I can. And then I dismiss them without being rude or disrespectful or acting like you're bothering me and that's why I'm here at work. It's to service you. So that's just me, how I see it. Could be, I ain't saying it's going to be like that, but really ain't that hard. Again, everyday life, people come in pissed off. I had one lady when I was working in the gym, that's customer service as well. And I had to work the front desk. It was right when COVID first started. And man, I was like, I don't understand why these people come in with attitudes. And one lady came in complaining about her job and she just got fired. And why they do this to me? And I'm just like, because she wanted to check in, but it wouldn't bring up her account. And I told her when it did that her account was overdue. So she gave me her whole life story on all the reasons why she can't make her payment. So I could have easily been like, man, you know what? I really don't, I ain't gonna say I don't care, but I was like, well, I understand that, but at the end of the day, you still gotta make your payment. and this is just the policy in place. You signed the waiver saying you understood. Well, this is stupid. I ain't coming to the gym no more. I'm gonna cancel my membership because y'all don't respect me and I'm a customer. I mean, just went off. And I was just sitting there like, you didn't pay your bill. So what are you complaining about? But she felt like the gym was ripping her off. And I'm like, ma'am, that's out of my control. I'm just working front desk. Actually, I'm helping out. So you can either call or talk to management, but I can't do anything else but to let you know that we can't let you in the gym because that's our policies. She got all fuck you and left and whatnot. So that's what I'm saying. It's just some people come in with mad at the world and they give you their whole life story. And as the consumer, the employer, the employer, you have to take all that. And then sometimes you're like, I ain't getting paid enough to deal with somebody else's problems and they taking it out on me. So that's where I get it. I understand some customers come in and you just gotta let them know. But again, that's the job you signed up for. And if they don't teach you that or give you training on that, then at some point you gotta be like, look, y'all need to tell me how to interact with customers because I don't like the way these customers coming in and approaching me. And I don't want to get fired for saying the wrong thing. So there's always ways you can work around that to, as an employer, to give better service. Because I feel like that's something that might be going, because of technology, but it's still some places where you're going to interact with humans. You still got to have some kind of level of good customer service. So.
That's true. I agree. So KJ had a couple of questions that I wanted to address. The first question is the customer always right? Is our first question. And the second one is, do you think it's generational issue? So for me, the first one is customers always right. That's a definite no. And I think back in the day that kind of applied, but now I don't think it does because in certain instances, like the guy that interrupted at the dollar store, he was definitely in the wrong. So in that sense, he wasn't right. And I'm not saying that he did, but he may have that mindset of, well, the customer's always right. So she need to listen to what I'm saying and she need to make sure that she gets the shirts or whatever in stock.
Right.
So from that aspect, to answer her question, no, I don't think, in my opinion, that the customer is always right. But what's funny because I myself have that same mindset when I'm calling in to somewhere, if I'm going somewhere, and my mindset is like, I'm right. You work for me. I'm making a pay. I'm paying for a service or a product or whatever. So you need to answer to what I'm saying. So I get it from both sides where it can be like, okay, I can see where it can be the employee can be the issue. Now I can see where the actually consumer can be the issue.
Right.
Or the problem. Now the other question, is it generational? But I don't know. For me, I don't think it has anything to do with generation. I think it has more so to do with us as a people getting so complacent and so relaxed to whereas we're losing standards and boundaries. So I think it still can be taught and it still can be trained, because if you want to say it's generational, then our generation are the ones that's raising these children. So where's the disconnect coming from? So it has to stem from us. So I don't, in my opinion, I don't think it's a generational thing. I just think it's more so, we're just getting really, really, really complacent with things and we're accepting things. We're so desensitized with so much stuff that's considered normal and average. I mean, just like the incident last week with the thing at the docks in Alabama. Now you got people all over the place beating people up with chairs and stuff.
They
you know what I mean? So
with that,
so the stuff that's not the norm or this could be considered, disrespectful or rude is now being accepted as the norm.
Right.
So
I mean, that's funny. The generation, I'm gonna tap on that one first. And you stole my comment because I was gonna say that it's funny when we all blame the generation. This generation, like you said, we raised these kids so that we are the ones at fault. Because not technically we are, Because I know sometimes you can raise your kid perfectly, they still gonna do what the
Right.
hell they want to do because your friends is
Mhm.
gonna more or less influence you. So I'm not gonna say the parents is totally their fault, but I will say it's their fault when the parents act a fool and the kids see that. Now I
Right.
remember one thing Dad used to always tell me: "It's not what you tell them, it's what you do." So I
Mhm.
think if you act out of character or immature, and your kids watching you, they gonna emulate that and
Mhm.
do the same thing. So I would say that's where it might, because I've seen some adults that act really immature and they got kids with them. So I'm just wondering if they do that out here, what they doing at home. So I would
Exactly.
say that's part of it. Now, when I would say yes, it's generational, and I think you hit a perfect point when you said the modern technology is the generational difference, meaning everything is influenced through the internet. They show people fighting, jumping behind McDonald's counters, and the people from McDonald's jumping over and boxing each other. So I think
Right.
because these kids seeing that, they think it's okay to be in a customer service and don't let a
Mhm.
customer disrespect you because I'm gonna jump and beat you up just like old girl did on that video. So I think the generation of technology is the difference where it's influencing too many people and showing too much to where some people again will look at it and think it's okay. Now, again, common sense is me. If you see that doesn't mean you can go do it. But I think when you see it so much, it makes it easier for you to act out and do the same thing because you're seeing it all the time on Facebook, on internet, all that. So I think that's where the generation gap is different, where these young people that's working ain't taking no mess because they seeing all these videos and stuff and they feel like they can do it, I can do it.
Mhm.
And another good point is there's a lot of young managers that's taking on the role. So they
Yeah.
don't have the right means on how to, like you said, perfect point, instill the training proper way of saying, look, customers, this is what you do and you don't do. And if they don't do it, then yeah, they kind of at fault. You hired these people, but you ain't give them no guidance. So they going out and responding to customers, feel like they got to defend themselves because they felt disrespected. So I think that's part of it on a generation thing. Now,
Right.
is the customer always right? Now, I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say no. The reason why I'm going to say yes, again, being on the other side as a manager, when I was a manager, I was told, or I ain't gonna say told, the way they explained it, the customer's always right to where you don't want to lose your potential customers by keep turning them away. Because if you tell every customer you wrong and this is just our policy, then people gonna go elsewhere. Now you're gonna lose business because you're being so this is the only way, my way, this is the company policy. No. So Rufus, my manager, I always resort to him because that dude taught me a lot as a manager. Rufus and I worked for Simon. He was the number one. I mean, he was the head manager. I was the number one assistant. We was the top business or fast food in San Antonio. Two brothers, number one in the district. Of all the Sonics, we was the top of sales, hourly, everything. So Rufus was really on point with
Mhm.
everything. He was very particular. So he'll always tell me, look, man, the customer is always right, but they not. And he told me that, and I was like, what are you talking about? He said, because if you keep turning away customers, telling them, no, this is not right because you messed up, you said it wrong, you're going to keep pissing people off. Nobody's never going to come back. And if word of mouth, they're going to all take it as you just don't want to give them the opportunity to fix the problem. He always told me, fix the problem. He said, now, customer comes in, disrespects you, call you out the name, do anything that's volatile, and you know they wrong, then that's when they wrong. But if it's something where it can be easily fixed, just tell them they're right, just to keep them coming back, but just send them home happy. Now that's fast food. Now, can you do that in a clothing store and all that? That's a little bit different. But to technically answer the question, yeah, from a business mind, on the manager side, yeah, they are right. But just a regular person, no, they're not. Because a lot of times customers will try to cheat the system and say stuff because they know that the employer has to abide by it because of that cardinal rule. The customer's always right. So some people will take advantage of that, knowing that. So that's where no, it's not. They always right because there's a lot of people out there that will do it purposely, knowing that they're gonna get taken care of because they are the customer. Because if you get into that battle well, you wrong, I'm right. Nobody's going to win. And again, the customer's going to get pissed off. They're going to take their business elsewhere. You could be like, well, good, we don't need your business. We get everybody up. But again, if you do that to everybody, you're going to lose business. And that's just the way Rufus ran his business. Again, we was number one. So his system worked. Now, he said, if they wrong and you want to give them, I mean, if you want to bow down to them, then that's, you got to make sure, to justify the means. I mean, how's it go? Justify the means is what he told me. So he told me that, and then that's when I did it. When the customer was completely wrong, and I just like, no, I can't do it. The justify had to meet the means. But other than that, he was like, just satisfy them, give them what they need, send them on their way. But that's fast food, though. But technically,
I was going to say, I think it's different depending on what the business is. I don't know. I could see that work both ways. Because to me, in a sense of a customer's always right. If you just want to get through that situation in the moment, opposed to going through a long, drawn out argument, it's okay, ma'am, sir, I was at fault. This is what I'm doing to fix it.
Right.
Then when I'm listening to you talk about how the guy Rufus was saying, like, you can't do that with everybody because then you'll lose business. So in a sense, you can't do that because everybody that comes through the door and they're wrong and you keep appeasing them, then in a sense, you will lose out because now you're just basically giving stuff away because you're just trying to get through the moment and not have to deal with it. So I think it's a case by case situation. I don't think it's a definite, black and white, well, this is what you have to do. I think there's a gray area in between there to where you have to navigate depending on what the situation is that comes up. Now, I'm going to use my situation with my book. Okay. So for me, this guy, he was the project manager. Like he was over the people that was writing the book, the graphic designer, the editors and so forth. So for me, in my opinion, I felt as though he should have been more communicative. And I told him when we first started, he said, how do you want me to contact you? I said, well, I don't want to call. I'd rather communicate through text or through email. So at first he was doing a good job. But then as we started getting deeper into the process and I was sending back, stuff that needed to be corrected, I wouldn't hear from him or he wouldn't respond. So I had to either call someone from his other team, call a superior, because he would never respond. And this is what irritates me. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where I think some people take customer service to a different level. This guy will write an email and a text, always apologizing every time. Well, Mr. Tompkins, I first want to apologize. I'm not that type of person. And, I just want to make sure that we get this book completed, blah, blah, blah. And it irritated the hell out of me because I thought he was just trying to, to appease me or make me feel a certain type of way. And it irritated me. So I finally told him, I said, look, don't keep apologizing. I said, the more you apologize, the more it irritates me. Because if you're not coming back and actually fixing the problem, what are you apologizing for? I said, so don't apologize anymore. And so for me, like when the book has finally been submitted and it's uploaded, so it's ready to be purchased. When I first talked to him, I had to send a nasty email. Then he responded. And he's like, don't worry about it, Mr. Tompkins. The book is going to be uploaded. Once you get your account set, no more than 24 hours, it'll be ready to be sold on Amazon. He told me this last Wednesday. Today, it just got published.
Right.
So for me, and I was thinking, okay, good customer service is I'm going to call and make sure. So, okay, Mr. Tompkins, I'm going to check. As soon as the book goes live, I will personally call you, email you, or text you. The book is ready. It's published. I already checked. It's good to go. So in my head, that's good customer service because he's keeping me informed. For me, customer service is preventing that consumer for having to have to ask questions or, be in doubt of anything. So to me, that person should always be one step ahead to prevent that person from asking questions. So to me, that's good customer service. But in
Right.
his mind, he was giving good customer service because he was always apologizing.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I
No,
just,
it makes a
yeah.
lot of sense because you broke it down. Because I mean, if you break down the word, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, but service is what you provide. That's why it's customer
Right.
service. So you are providing a service for your customers. So that's why I say that you have to understand that long as it's within the confines of not being disrespectful,
Mhm.
regardless of how they coming at you. That person could have had a bad day. That person could have had something happen from a previous employee that have them come back acting that way. So and this is what we was taught as employers, that you got to keep all that and be mindful when you dealing with a customer, is because you don't know if they had bad service previously or somewhere else. So if you giving them that same energy or the service, they're gonna feel some type of way, and that's the reason why they're coming at you like that. So that's why my whole point is, I think customer service needs to be better, is because you're providing a service, and if a person comes in irate or mad, it's usually because something happened previously with you. I mean, not you, with another employer that worked there or somewhere else, and you get tired. You've been all ran around somewhere, directed somewhere else. So you like, look, somebody need to take care of me because I'm getting misdirected and nobody's helping me. So that's where the customer service has to be on point, because you're providing service
Mhm.
to that person. And the reason for them acting like that is because you or somebody else is not doing their job. So even in me as a trainer, I have to provide good customer service, because if not, that person ain't gonna like it, they're gonna complain, or they're gonna go somewhere else. So I have to always keep in mind that, this is my job, is giving you service, and it has to be pretty much on point, because it's not a luxury to say, hey, I take a day off and I don't feel like dealing with nobody, so I'm gonna be rude or no information or just uncooperative. That's not in that field. You can't do that because we coming for a service. So that's why I believe
Mhm.
customer service needs to be always professional. You have to be informative, because again, that's your job. You get paid to have information to serve your customer. That's what the whole point of it is. So I feel like it's lost. I mean, I just feel like nowadays, honestly, I think people feel like they underpaid, so they don't care about the service they providing. So they just act a certain way. But again, I'm gonna fall back on this again. You're gonna be a customer one day when you go somewhere. To me, that's my mindset. When I do provide service, I gotta remember, if I get mad or pissed off at them, or I'm getting frustrated with them, what happens when I'm on that side and I'm the customer and I'm telling them, you don't know what you're talking about, you need to tell me because you ain't helping me, you don't know anything. Now I'm that customer that was just talking to me earlier. So that's why I say it's not easy. That's what I'm in this with. Customer service is one of the hardest jobs to do, because you're dealing with so many different personalities. uh you got to really be content, because you got to watch that you are human. So sometimes people say stuff that's going to trigger you, but you got to remember that you can come back at them, but it will be a consequence behind that. Because if you go back and be disrespectful, then hey, I want to talk to your manager, I don't like the way you talking to me. And I'm saying that because I was that guy being a customer, so I know that's to be the way it'll turn out. So for me, customer service, provide the service that's needed. That's why you're in that position. And if you don't like it, like Rufus used to tell me, then you shouldn't be working here. And that sounds kind of mean, but we all work and we know our job. Just like where I'm working at now, we provide customer service for Toyota. We are their manufacturer, so we can't just have any type of attitude and be like, oh, well, I'm not going to send this part out the right way, go somewhere else. That's just not, you shouldn't be working there if you don't like providing the customer service. So that's how I see it. I'm not saying it's right, but that's my opinion on it. And I know it's a lot of great customer service, so I'm not going to beat everybody up and act like everybody out there working customer service doesn't do a good job, because there's a lot of good people that do a good job. Because there's a lot of places I go, just because the service they provide is good. They informative. They help me. they friendly. So that to me makes a difference. And that's where you get a lot of customers that come back to certain places is because of the customer service. It's not even because they have stuff. I had one guy tell me when I used to work at over there at Sonic, and he was telling me, and I was the manager, he's like, man, I always come back just because how you are and how your employees are always respectful and friendly. And, I wouldn't go nowhere else. I come here because of the way y'all treat me. So that's where customer service, you got to play those different hats, wear those different hats. I used to work at HEB, and I was a manager over there in the frozen department. So I had to be on the floor all day, and that was in the frozen department. You had people asking me ignorant stuff and just like looking at them like, really, you don't know, it's sitting right here. But I had to be nice, be friendly to them, and they always appreciated that. So they came back. So that's where customer service is important, because they may not even have a product all the time, but because the service you provided, that's why they keep coming back. And think about it, y'all. Anywhere you go, whether it's retail, to where you go shopping, anything, is it somebody there that gives you so much good service? That's the reason why you go back. And is it somebody that's so sorry you refuse to go back to that place? So that's where customer service is important, because it does make a difference on where you shop, where you buy stuff, everything. And I personally know there's some good people out there. So I'm gonna leave it on that, and I'm gonna let you say your thing.
All right, there's a couple of things I want to address. For me, I always said this. I know you said customer service is hard or challenging.
Yeah.
In a sense, I kind of disagree with that. I believe it's the easiest job or easiest thing you can do, because I used to always say customer service is free. That's not something you have to pay for. That's not something employer, in a sense, doesn't have to pay for. So KJ said this, and it makes sense. She said, you should go high when the customer goes low. Keep good high energy. And my thing is, like, regardless if it's at a business or whatever, we always control that moment in that environment. So if somebody's coming in, if that person has a good energy, good attitude, you can totally change that person's energy if they coming in negative.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use this for an example. I was at a UPS store, and a customer was getting like real ignorant and rude with the employee. So I just looked at her, I said, man, we having a bad day? She was like, yeah, she's taking too long, this and that. I said, well, you know what? I said, don't let that person control you. Don't let that person control your energy. You control the situation every time you come in. So the point I'm trying to make is there's ways you can redirect that energy that person is coming in with to whereas you don't have to let it get to that point. So I think that's kind of what she's alluding to when she's talking about you go high and control the energy. Now, this is the other thing for me, because I always believe it does no good to complain or talk about something if you don't have a solution. So for me, the solution is, and I know you said you can't train somebody, but the actuality you can train somebody how to be or have interpersonal skills. I was in El Paso, and I was applying for a job, and it was a customer service position. I never seen this anywhere else before. And they actually had a laptop. You go to the laptop, and even now when I apply for jobs, they have scenarios, and you have to answer based off of how you will react. And if you answer wrong, like you won't know when you're taking the test. They won't tell you if you'll pass or go. So I scored high. That particular place, I scored high on my customer service. I was like 85 out of 100 or something like that. So that's why I said, in my opinion, it's the employers. I know you said that the workers like, well, you wanted to do that job, so you just have to deal with it. That to me is not that person's fault. It's the employer's fault, because when you hire somebody, that employer should make sure that they're ready to be able to deal with whatever it is that comes through the door. So to me, it's not the individual, because a person can want to do something, but don't have the skill to do it. So that employer should be the one to be able to say, you know what, I know this is what your desire is. You think that you're good with people and whatever the case is, but just based off of my evaluation, you would be better suited in this position. But like I said, fast food, they're not going to do that because they don't care. But I'm just saying, any other thing dealing with, whether it's insurance company, car dealership, retail, when you're dealing with high clientele or just important people, a lot of different people, that should be 100% known before that person is put out there if they're capable of handling that type of job. So it's still, for me, it comes back down to the employer. They determine that. They should make sure that the people they're putting out there are the right people. So to me, that's the easiest way. That's the solution. It's going to cost them money. It's going to cost time, which most of them don't want to do. But to prevent bad customer service, that's one of the ways, in my opinion, is to neutralize that. Now, will you totally get rid of it? No, because people are human, and you're still going to act off of emotion or ego. But it will still save the company from putting the wrong person out front that shouldn't be there. So to me, it's an easy fix. It really is. But like I said, most employers is not going to do that because they don't want to waste time and money in that aspect, opposed to in something else. And this is another key point. I've learned this a long time ago. Why is it, not why, but most places, depending on what it is, they're always going to put the best looking female, the best looking male, the person that's articulate, a person that has good energy, the person that can speak well, that's outgoing. They can have all those attributes, but just terrible at interacting when it comes to a situation that arises. So that's another problem too. They're going to put the pretty face out there, opposed to somebody that could be ugly, but really, really good with people and calm and know how to neutralize the situation when it comes up. So for me, that's the solution to at least bringing customer service to a balance to where it's just not getting overrun like it is right now with bad service.
Yeah, well, you're right. They do that because that's the old marketing. To get and attract. That's how you're going to attract the people, with the females. Every time I work that, they always They always put a pretty face out there.
Yeah.
Somebody that's smooth talking because because they know that's what's going to appease the clients. Men and women
bring
nowadays.
people in the door.
Yeah, I say clients, but customers. Yeah. Yeah. But no, you're right though. I mean, I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm saying that the customers are always wrong or the employers are always right. I'm just pretty much saying that what you said, but in a different way. You should have that in place as far as the training. I didn't mean you can't train them. What I'm saying is you can train them, but a real life situation is going to come up.
Yeah.
It depends. You said it yourself. It's situational. When the day comes, you could be the best person, but the wrong day at the wrong time, and they come in that door and they give you attitude, you can have all the training in the world, but sometimes you lose it if you just having that day. So that's why when I say you should know the job you're dealing with, because customer service, that's what I mean. It is easy if you make it easy, but it's going to be those days where it is challenging. So I want anybody out there, that's why I say comment and give us a story that you had good and bad. Because I think it's pretty much balanced where you might have it, but you never had a bad customer service experience. You might have someone you had more than you didn't. So I think it's going to be even keel. But at the end of the day, I'm saying the same thing you said. I just feel like customer service is something that it has to be. I'm not saying it's perfect, but again, it should be something where you got to be careful on how you handle it because it is consequences behind that. And I'm only saying that from being on both sides. I just think the customer service is shot to hell. But then there's some that's great. Like I said, there's certain places I go purposely because that person is working there. Or I'm looking, hey, so-and-so ain't there. All right, I come back just because I know, like you said, that person, like you was telling about the example, told that girl, don't let nobody take the energy. But this person is just good with every customer. I never see them rude to anybody, always make you feel good when you come in. So that makes me want to keep going back. So that's the customer service that I feel like is the ideal in any job environment, not just fast food. It could be anybody, anywhere. I mean, excuse me, because that's the way you will keep going to give your business wherever it is at. If that person, because one thing, and I think you alluded to that, Matt, is that first person you meet when you come in, whatever business dictates how that transaction going to go. If you mad, you want to go home and you working 2 hours overtime, and this person comes in right when you ready to leave, they pissed off because they had a long day. Now they both two people at the same time interacting with attitudes, and nobody's going to be able to be better than the other one. Like KG was saying, take the higher road. That's where it's important that you do take the high road. I agree with her 100 on that. You have to take the high road. That was my whole point. This whole subject is you got to take the high road, because if you having a bad day, they having a bad day, and they just saying everything that's wrong, you can easily flip that and be like, oh girl, take your ass to Walmart. She ain't say it like that. Basically, what to say. Instead of saying, okay, you know what? I'll make sure I have that shirt for you next time you come in, because I know you always in here. I see you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have did. Because one keeps the customer coming back, and it diffused the problem, and it showed that you really care and you want to take care, because this is a business. You want to provide a business. So that's what I was always taught in a business, when the retailer, like you said, give a solution. Okay, I make sure I have that shirt the next time. I don't want you going anywhere else. This is where you need to be. It's convenient because you're right down the street. Now you might say, oh, you're giving them too much information. You're just trying to please them or appease to him. But again, that's going to make the person feel wanted, appreciated, and that you really care about your job. So I feel like if you do that now, is everybody going to do that? Of course not. But I think that's the best way to handle a situation when it happens. And I had to do that many a time, where somebody come at me and, I had to flip it and be like KG said, take the high road. But enough on that. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. All right, so the dude at the was he taking the high road in that situation? Because the dude, he was telling him to move the boat, and the guy came running after him, and he kind of pushed him off. And then I think the dude threw him down, he threw the hat up, and then he got in his fighting stance. Yeah. So should he have taken the high road then? So in that situation,
the brother or the white guy?
How do you do? No, the brother, because he was working there.
See, I didn't know. I've seen the video, but it had no audio. I just see people fighting everywhere. So I didn't even know what was going on. Nobody put the content on what was the call. So I didn't know. But that's the first I heard of that actual story, because everybody that posted it say anything. They just posted a fight. So I was like, I'm told it was a racist fight, as far as I'm concerned, the way it looked to me. So I didn't know all that.
Yeah, what happened was the white people had their boat at the dock, and they had a ferry or something coming in, and the dude was trying to tell them to move. And he was like, get your boat out the way, because we got to have this boat come in and dock. And the dude was refusing to move. And then he just got, for whatever reason, he just attacked him. And that's when dude threw his hat up. And that's when everything just went out of control. But what I'm saying, in that situation, based off of what KJ was saying, is that just take the high road. How do you take a high road in a situation when somebody's being that aggressive?
No, that's what I was saying earlier about customers always right, depending on if they physically attack you, you throw that out the window. That's now you protect yourself. So there's no more customer service at that point. Now you protect yourself from a life situation, life-threatening situation. Now, did he run up on him? But from the video I looked at, he was about to approach him. So the dude threw his hat like, oh, you coming for me? Yeah. So he's like, let's go. So that's why, and that's just me playing it out, because we didn't hear what they were saying. So you don't know what he was saying. He could be calling them nigger this, nigger that. I ain't my so you don't know. So I'm only gonna hypothetically say he said some disrespectful stuff and he was about to come at him. So the brother was like, oh, come on, let's go. So to me, that's a little, I know a lot of people like, that's no different. It's a little different because he was physically about to come and attack him. Just like in the restaurant, you come physically attacking me, ain't no high road at that point. I had to defend myself. Now, if they got security or something, that's different. But if you ain't got security, what are you going to do? Your basic instinct's going to kick in,
He
and you're
was
going to
security.
defend yourself. Huh?
He
No,
was a
I'm saying
security.
like if there was me
Oh,
somewhere
okay,
else
okay.
and somebody attacked me, if there's no security around,
Right.
then I'm gonna have to defend myself. So if he was the security, then maybe that's why he got a little aggressive, because he felt like he's security, he has that right. But I don't know what was said, so that's where I'm gonna say that. Looking at the video, it looked like he was approaching him like he was about to
Mhm.
box him. So I see why the brother. That part is funny, him throwing the hat up though. But
Yeah.
yeah, to me it's like, okay, I'm thinking hypothetically the way I seen it, he was talking some crazy stuff to that brother, and then he was about to come, and the brother's like, "Come on," because they was clearly talking to each other. So
Yeah.
what was said, like I said, he could have been throwing N bombs everywhere, and it said,
Right.
"I'm coming for you," and then the dude's like, "Oh hell, come on," and then it just got crazy after that. So
Yeah.
to
No,
answer
I
your
just
question,
yeah, it did. I just wanted to point out that it's easy to say it's you should take the high road, but that situation dictates as far as that person
right?
taking the high road. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's as easy as saying sometimes you have to do that. It basically depends on the situation. Like with that incident, he had no
Mhm.
choice but to, because he got jumped. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, hopefully everyone enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So as always, beautiful people, your belief becomes your thoughts becomes your belief, and your belief becomes your reality.
Okay, I didn't know if you stopped it or not. You just put your hand up there. So anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate it. This was a good subject. It's something that was spontaneous with me the other day, and that's why I wanted to bring it to the forefront and have you guys listen. So comment again. I want to hear stories, opinions, all that. Appreciate you guys. And always, whatever we do in life, whatever it is, we gotta stay STS, stay focused, trust that process, and stay consistent. And y'all have a good day. We see you guys next week.
Peace.